lost control of his car, and I decided to keep going to get the lap time, and he came back onto the track and hit my car. My car turned over, and it was quite interesting, but I unfortunately was not hurt, which was is a big relief.
What can he do? He lost control. I mean, he didn't hit me deliberately. It's lucky it wasn't close to the barrier. I'm saying that. What's that? Mr. Irvine. Yeah, I mean, I was held up by him anyway. I mean, then he lost it, and I thought I could see it coming back, but there was nowhere to go. Going into the last race with 1 point deficit to Michael is always going to be, unfortunately, putting you in a position where you've got everything to lose. It's over now, and it's a bit of an empty feeling, but I think I gave him a good run for his money.
This is something that many people didn't think could possibly happen today. They thought Damon would drive a cautious race, but he fought. He fought from second on the grid. He passed Jacques Villeneuve. He took the lead. He stayed there. And Damon Hill exits the chicane and wins the Japanese Grand Prix. And I've got to stop because I've got a lump in my throat. Michael Schumacher passes Damon Hill, but too late. Damon Hill wins in Japan. I really am, for once, almost at a loss for words. I am so happy, as the majority of Britain will be. I must confess I have a very soft spot for Damon, and it has been magnified as a result of his achievements here.
Voilà, s'il vous plaît, voilà. On appelle ça des costumes. Avant. Voilà, monsieur.
Et vous les enfants, merci d'accueillir maintenant Monsieur Damon Hill.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, now please welcome Mr. Damon Hill.
I wanted to thank Damon Hill for coming here today, and Renault. Congratulate both of them for the World Championship. And Damon, if you want to say a few words.
I'd like to say thank you very much to Disneyland Paris and to Renault, of course, and to everyone here who's come to see the car and the demonstration, and I hope you have a lovely time in Disneyland and you don't get too cold.
Christian Konzen.
Je suis absolument ravi que nous soyons tous réunis ici pour fêter notre champion Damon Hill, auquel nous devons beaucoup, et pour remercier Philippe Bourguignon de nous avoir organisé cette superbe parade et pour tout ce qu'il fait dans le cadre de Disney Europe. C'est absolument sensationnel.
Is it your first time in Disneyland Paris?
No, I've been many times, but with my children.
Yes, it was not so hard to drive this car in the main streets.
A little bit slippery.
Yes.
But, and I think the crowd enjoyed it.
And is it special atmosphere?
In Disney, it's magic atmosphere. It's incredible.
V10 Yamaha powered arrows, and you can see visually that Hill is inching.
Fastest lap there for Damon Hill, 1:19.6. A new
with the way Villeneuve.
It's far worse. The engine bogs down. You have to dip the commence your start procedure, and these things tension start man where he started the race past you, and you have to dip the clutch and really get the revs back up, and then you tend to spin the wheels too much after that.
I have been longing to talk about this. I never expected to be able to do so, but we've got 3 world champions in this race, and you're looking at them now. Yes, I know what I'm saying. Michael Schumacher has been champion twice, Damon Hill has been champion once, and Damon Hill has halved the gap. He's more than halved the gap. And now Schumacher is coming up on a tail ender. I think it's Morbidelli in the Sauber. But Damon Hill is closing on the Ferrari. I say again, Michael Schumacher is in a car that is entirely new to him as far as race running is concerned. He's had a few laps in it in the warm-up this morning. Damon Hill, of course, has been working very patiently on the setup of his car, and there's another difference between these two. Michael Schumacher is using Goodyear tyres. Damon Hill is using Bridgestone tyres. The battle between the two tyre manufacturers is just as great as it is between the car constructors, and the Bridgestones are said to be particularly good. He certainly sounds as though he is, but he certainly doesn't look it now. Just look. Damon now right under the rear wing of Michael Schumacher's Ferrari. Damon, who has won 21.
And there you have it.
Yeah, and so what about Mika Häkkinen? Well, we'll keep an eye open, but the producer is quite rightly watching this battle for the lead. We haven't seen one like it for a long time. Shades of 1994. Remember, Schumacher won the World Championship. Damon Hill was second. It went right down to the wire in Adelaide with that memorable coming together, and they've had others. Well, now they are at it again. Schumacher leads. Damon Hill is second. Eddie Irvine in the second Ferrari. Let's look back and see where we see him. No, it's Häkkinen. Häkkinen is up into third place. We've missed that, but Häkkinen is up into third place ahead of Irvine, and Villeneuve has passed the Ferrari too, so presumably Eddie Irvine has got a problem.
Well, I think he may have made a mistake, because that's allowed Häkkinen through, we believe, and then allowed Villeneuve to take a run at him. So bad news there for Eddie, and bad news for Michael Schumacher too. And yes, Irvine, they're getting ready for him. He's coming in the pit lane, so maybe he's had to come in together with somebody. Here he is now. He's at his...
Whatever it was, I can't imagine why he stopped, can you?
Well, unless it was a puncture. His tyres looked okay when the brief shot I saw of them, so maybe he had a slow puncture.
So we're now on lap 10 in this 77-lap race. The first 5 are together, because Frentzen has closed now right up on Jacques Villeneuve, and David Coulthard isn't far behind them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them go through. That's how close it is between Coulthard in 6th position and Michael Schumacher, who is leading. There are only 3.9 seconds.
And Johnny Herbert's going to join the back of this queue anytime soon. Michael Schumacher is going to hold up this train, and we're going to see a lot of good manoeuvring, but then eventually it'll look how quick Hill is coming out of that last corner.
Yes, Damon Hill almost looked as though he nudged the Ferrari. Move over, you can feel him saying in the cockpit, I'm going through, and Damon Hill leads. Oh boy, Damon Hill goes into the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lap 11, Damon leads again in Hungary, and what is more, he has done something that the others may find very, very difficult indeed, because Michael Schumacher is undoubtedly holding everybody up, and he's going to be coming in, we do believe, but Damon Hill has got past him.
Got underneath his rear wing, got a super toe, and then an incredibly brave manoeuvre. And remember when he last tried that on Michael Schumacher, he turned into him in Adelaide and he lost the World Championship. But he pulled it off this time, and now he's just racing away. He comes in the pits. But hang on, they're taking Schumacher's tyres away, back into the garage. That's great news for Damon.
Now, you would have been a very brave man if you had.
But look, he's taking but Damon's 3 seconds a lap faster at the moment.
And it could well be that he's going to be making 1 stop less, but we've got news from James Allen in the pits.
Yeah, just to clear up this Ferrari tyre situation.
Touring back to the start, and jars the McLaren Mercedes, and Damon Hill leads by 5 seconds. 5 incredible seconds. I can hardly believe my eyes as I watch this happening before them.
Well, he looks somewhat calmer than you, Murray, I have to say, and he's doing a super job out there. But I understand your excitement because this is looking good, and we know his tyres have a good durability, and we think he is only 2 stopping.
Yeah, but not as many as Damon. He hasn't got the experience. And Damon Hill is not only leading, but he's pulling away. He's just made the fastest lap of the race.
The move that Damon Hill put on him, he's so slow out of the last corner.
It's pretty fair to say I was a senior driver. I was 37 years old. I'd won the World Championship 2 years previously. So Jordan was a very important team to me. It represented an opportunity to get my name back up there. And by the time we got to Spa, we had a pretty good car. When a car's good, you kind of get a buzz. You start finding more time in yourself as well. We put on a final set of tyres and I managed to get a good lap, and that put us 3rd on the grid, which is fantastic when you see that on the timing screen.
This is the best result I've had with Jordan for qualifying, and I'm very, very happy.
I had money on you for 3rd in Hungary. You let me down. You're going to be a better bet here.
Well, you should have put money on for this one, shouldn't you? You'll learn next time.
Classic Spa, wasn't it, really? One minute it's lovely weather at the end of August, and the next minute it's absolutely torrential rain. Getting a car off the line in the wet is not an exact science, and I didn't make such a good start and slipped back a few places going round La Source.
Yes! Yes, it's go! And Coulthard drags. Hakkinen gets away well. Look at Eddie Irvine coming up on the inside.
I was tucked in behind David Coulthard's McLaren. I could see him hit a big bump. There was a drain there.
Into the wall. Who was that?
Coulthard in the wall.
David Coulthard into the wall. They'll stop the race.
They'll have to red flag this.
Terrible. Look, oh, this is quite appalling. This is the worst start for a Grand Prix that I have ever seen in the whole of my life.
It's one of the biggest start line shunts in all of Formula One history, actually.
Total carnage. They have no ability to stop. The tyres are cold, and everything locks up, just slides straight into the accident.
50-50 chance that you'd make it through this carnage unscathed, and thankfully I did.
Well, it's going to take an enormous time to clear all this lot up. Drivers, where they can, are getting into spare cars.
Staying in the car, I think, was vital to me, maintaining that level of concentration.
Go, 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 go!
Second start, I managed to make a peach of a start, and I got fantastic traction.
Damon Hill has made an excellent start and leads! And leads!
There I was, an open track all in front of me, and I thought, now we're going to have some fun. Eventually, of course, Michael manages to emerge out of the mist and the spray, and there I was, back where I might have been in '94, racing against Michael Schumacher in the wet. Whatever happened, he passed me and started to disappear into the distance.
Oh, God! Michael Schumacher hits David Coulthard and is out.
I've never seen Michael looking so cross in my life. He went and sought out David Coulthard in the garage. This is all unbeknownst to me, but the consequence was I was now leading the race.
Oh, Fisichella! That's a big accident. That's a horrible accident.
And then the safety car came out. I now have my teammate right behind me. I was waiting to see if Eddie was going to give us any instructions or advice, because the opportunity was there for him to win his first Grand Prix. Not only win his first Grand Prix, but get a 1-2. I took a little bit of a lead in the situation. So I issued the team orders.
Ralph, you cannot overtake Damon, okay? That is team order.
Obviously it was in my favour, but then I'd done all the hard work. I qualified third and I'd led the race mostly.
Damon Hill wins in Belgium. Fantastic!
There was jubilation. It was a 1-2. Eddie was ecstatic. The team were ecstatic. Nobody expected a Jordan to win a Grand Prix.
It was a very exciting race. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm really quite lost for words, actually.
It was immensely satisfying, and I think that it was one of my most satisfying victories. One of the most watched and remembered races, certainly of Spa's history, maybe even Formula One.
Kimi Raikkonen then, laying down the gauntlet. It's a world champion's move. Kimi Raikkonen is looking very good indeed.
Kimi Raikkonen arrived in Belgium this week with his name still linked to the paddock's biggest teams.
I still don't have a contract, you know, so I have nothing else to say when you ask me 25 times, so there's no different answer.
Lotus have given you a competitive car. It's not a dominant car, but then the only car that looks at slightly dominant is the Red Bull.
You're always looking for the best possible chances of winning, but I'm sure I think what we've done in this team with Lotus and with the budget that we have to be happy, but of course we want to go forward all the time, and I think we improved from last year, and the aim for the team and for me is to improve for the future. So it depends on many things, but if we could have the similar amount of budget than the top teams that are ahead of us, I'm sure we could do even better.
It's Kimi Raikkonen back on top!
Out of the cockpit, Kimi rarely gives anything away, even when he wins in his comeback year.
Kimi, tell us about your emotions at this time.
Not much, really.
I mean, I'm very happy that we won, but I was more happy for the team that we could win, and we had some hard time on before the race and weeks before, so I think it was more important for them. For me, I won before, so it wasn't kind of like, I'm sure if it would have been first time, it would have been much more different story, but I really didn't doubt myself that I could win.
You've got this remarkable finishing record, this incredible record you've got for surviving races and getting the car home. I mean, you qualified 8th for the race. You know, there's no reason why you can't make it through the pack, is there?
Yeah, I'm sure it depends a lot on the weather. For some reason, every time when it rains, for us it seems to be more tricky. We saw today on the dry condition in the qualifying, we were fastest in the second, so maybe not the fastest on a straight line, and here obviously it helps if you have a good straight line speed, but I'm sure usually we are much more stronger in a race, so we try at least, and hopefully we put ourselves in a good position and give ourselves a good chance on at least be on a podium.
One thing is certain, Kimi has come through the field before in Belgium, and don't bet against him doing it again.
Your sixth race in Formula One and more points for you. It's going very well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was fun race. Only I did a big mess in the pit stop. I don't know really what happened. I thought that they lift the lollipop, and I don't know. But in the end, this doesn't make any difference.
So you were a bit disappointed then. Would you have liked more?
No, not really. I'm really happy. But of course, you always try to win, and if you don't win, you always have something to do still.
Other than that, was it a tough race for you, or did it come to you quite easily?
No, it was pretty easy. Like a physical side, it was not a problem at all. But only there was some moments in the race, but that's life. It was really nice race.
Congratulations! I think it was a fantastic race for you. How big is your luck?
Yeah, it was very good race, but of course we had some luck, but not really. This race was only I earned it because I raced against everybody, and we did a good job with the team.
Well, you look very cool.
Yeah, I'm cool. It was a nice race.
But now you have the same points as Mika for you as a Finn.
Yeah, but in the end, this doesn't make any difference. We always try to get more, and I'm not race against Mika only. I'm raced against everyone.
But Mika told us before the start, the main thing is that you have to be behind him.
Yeah, but But now I beat him, but I think so something happened with him in the start.
What about your future? In Italian, everybody speaks about you and Ferrari. The next Ferrari driver, Peter Sauber, is afraid of that, and now Mika like to stay here. What's your opinion in the future?
I don't know. We will see. I have a contract with Sauber until 2003, I think so, and after that we can look some other options.
And of course, you have a dream.
Yeah, I have a dream, but it's too early for that.
It's blue or red dream?
I don't tell you.
Thank you.
Kimi Räikkönen, the undoubted sensation of this year's Grand Prix season. He's already gained the respect and friendship of fellow Finn and double world champion Mika Häkkinen. We've all been amazed at his consistent and early pace at all Grand Prix, despite never having driven at 7 of the 8 tracks. Enjoy this glimpse of his commitment and aggression earlier this weekend. We asked him and his support team about the season so far.
It has been a very good start of the season for me and for the team. I think so the team also didn't expect that they will be fourth. I was just waiting for maybe a couple points this year and I would be happy, but I don't mind. It has been very good for me, and of course I'm always thinking, I think so every driver thinks that one day they want to get in top teams, but I think so it's too early yet, and we need to finish this season and try to do as good job as we can, and then we can look.
He's the hottest property in Formula One right now, and you know, basically, obviously, he's here for a few years, and I think it's a great place for him to be. But after that, you know, he wants to be world champion, so hopefully one of the big teams, or I'm sure one of the big teams, will pick him up.
I think the basic talent is there, so he has the ability to go fast, very fast, so he doesn't need a lot of time to learn, and that you can show in each car for sure. Now, I think he has the luck that the car is quite competitive this year, which gives him the possibility of making scoring points early in his career, which is a very nice thing. He has the talent, the ability to arrive at the track, to walk one lap, that's enough, and then from the first outing, let's say, he's within 1 or 1.5 seconds what the car can do, without any risks, just natural. So I think he has this kind of space view to be able to analyze very quickly where to put the wheels, and but to go quick straight away.
For me, it's never been difficult to learn new circuits. Like today was quite easy to learn the circuit, and then it's just a matter of getting the setup right, and so of course sometimes the car is not good enough for the top 10 places, but that's the life, and we always try to make the car better and quicker, but it's quite difficult always.
7 important World Championship points to his credit already, including this strong and mature 4th place at the Austrian Grand Prix. How can a 21-year-old have so much confidence?
Maybe with the end of the race I was looking that I will finish 4th, and was a bit not so good consideration, but then the second time in Canada was much easier because you know already how to do it the last 20 laps, and it was a very nice feeling.
The world is at Kimi's feet for sure. Now he's obviously it's up to us to make sure that the next move after being at Sauber is the right move for him. For sure, he has all the ability to be a world champion, and obviously when people like Mika and Mika retire, that he's just 21 years of age and he's got many, many years in Formula One, and I'm sure he will be a world champion.
Ich habe Kimi Räikkönen für einen Formel-1-Test ein Auto für 3 Tage in Mugello zur Verfügung gestellt. Ich habe ihn dann am 2. Tag zusammen mit Willy Rampf besucht und habe da einen sehr, sehr speziellen jungen Mann kennengelernt. Kimi Räikkönen ist vorher nur 23 Rennen Formel Renault gefahren, hatte absolut keine Erfahrung in einem Formel 1 Auto. Vor allem hat er nie am Lenkrad geschalten und gekuppelt. Er hatte keine Probleme mit diesen Funktionen und war auf Anhieb recht schnell. Kimi war aber vor allem als Mensch etwas sehr Spezielles. Er war unglaublich konzentriert, fokussiert und ließ sich nicht beirren, wenn er mal was im Kopf hatte. Kimi ist aufgefallen, nicht nur durch schnelle Runden, vor allem auch durch regelmäßige Runden. Und wenn wir ihm neue Reifen aufzogen, so war er 1 Sekunde schneller, das hätte er sein müssen. Und wenn wir 30 Kilo Sprit rausgenommen haben, dann war er auch 1 Sekunde schneller. Und diese Präzision, die hat uns schon sehr verblüfft. Kimi hat Willi Rampf und mich sehr beeindruckt an diesem Tag. Er konnte Leistung abrufen, wenn er wollte, und das sehr präzise. Und wir waren uns auf dem Rückflug am Abend klar, dass wir ihm einen Vertrag anbieten.
Kimi for sure is a huge asset for the team. It's not only because that he did 20 years in F1, but he did 20 years in a winning team, in a winning situation. And by the way, he knows exactly what he wants into the car and how we have to be fast. For sure the enthusiasm that he has into the... Sometimes he don't show the enthusiasm at all, but he's enthusiastic. and at the end it's a key topic for us and part of the performance of the team.
The most successful of the Young Bucks was an oddball from the Finnish countryside.
There's been a lot of criticism, a lot of comment about you coming into Formula One. What's your view on that?
I don't know.
Wenn er in den Flieger kam, seinen Sitz schon mal horizontal gelegt und hat sich nicht darum gekümmert, dass man aufrecht starten muss.
I really doesn't care about what the other people are saying.
Nobody knew Kimi, and hardly anyone believed in him. But Peter Sauber did, and helped him start an international career.
Kimi war fokussiert, außergewöhnlich fokussiert. Ich habe so etwas vorher nie erlebt und auch nachher nie erlebt. Wenn Kimi auf mich zugelaufen kam, dann habe ich das Gefühl, wenn er will, kann er durch mich durchgehen. Das war so die Einstellung von Kimi.
Kimi, you are on pole. Thank you.
And I sympathize a little bit with the mechanic at Haas because Alfa Romeo also were releasing Kimi. It's not like, you know, he could see him coming down the pit lane.
Kimi Räikkönen displays skills beyond his experience and takes Jenson Button.
Räikkönen on a charge now. He's gone from 6th to 2nd. Now he's hunting down Fisichella. Kimi Räikkönen wins for Ferrari in Belgium. 4 times winner. Now then, the Mr. Raikkonen. What can you do? Kimi Raikkonen, is it provisional pole for him? Across the line he goes, almost half a second faster than Fernando Alonso.
It's the best place for tomorrow, and at least we have a little gap to the second guy, so maybe we can have quite a good race tomorrow.
And this is how Kimi Raikkonen managed to get past Lewis Hamilton. Went the long way round, just about squeezed past.
So that's Raikkonen then taking the lead back from Adrian Sutil.
Raikkonen wins the first Grand Prix of the season and starts off with absolute perfection.
Look at Raikkonen though, he's having a go at Barrichello. Oh, nice move.
It'll be a brave move though against your teammate in these conditions, and he's made it work.
Wow, Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi tries the outside line. What a move. Just doesn't fear anybody or anything. What a massive hero.
Kimi's going to dart down the inside, is he? Going into turn one now, Raikkonen is just ahead of Hamilton. Fast pace from the Ferrari. Hamilton tries to go down the inside, he can't do it once again. Is the outside the way to go here? Not on that occasion. The checkered flag for him as a winner. Kimi Raikkonen wins the US Grand Prix.
Grande Kimi, grande Kimi.
Thank you. Finally.
It's not often we get to see a driver winning his first Grand Prix, and it's not often that it will be as popular a win as this. Kimi Raikkonen wins his first Grand Prix for McLaren.
They have put so much effort over the winter that is paying off now, and it's good for the, it's good for all of us.
Raikkonen then takes Michael Schumacher. Schumi absolutely asleep on the restart.
Mesmerising pace from this young man from Finland, Kimi Raikkonen. A magnificent win for Kimi Raikkonen. Well done to him. And he's known as the Iceman, but even he could excuse himself for a little emotion now, I think. What a brilliant move once again. Another fantastic pass.
Oh, and they nearly touched. Can Raikkonen sweep in? Yes, he can. Brilliant.
Kimi Raikkonen sweeps through. He started from 17th place. Absolutely sensational performance.
Of course, it was a much more difficult win than any other of my wins, but in one way it's more nicer when you need to really fight for it.
Massa goes across, Hamilton covers, and Raikkonen looks like he's gone round the outside of it.
Raikkonen already getting the place he needed there.
Is that Hamilton slowing? It is. Kimi Raikkonen wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. His first victory here, the 15th of his career, and by no doubt the most important.
By my calculations, we win the championship by 1 point.
For sure, I'm gonna enjoy today and probably first month, so we'll see what happens. But I'm very happy.
Kimi Raikkonen is the most experienced driver in F1 history. He currently holds the record for the most Grand Prix starts and the furthest distance driven. With over 20 victories and many more podiums to his name, it would seem a fool's errand to try to reduce the 2007 World Champions' moments of brilliance to a mere 10, but we'll give it a go. In 2013, Kimi Raikkonen was in his second season racing for Lotus, after a 2-year hiatus during which he'd indulged his passions for rally driving and NASCAR. At the championship opener in Melbourne, skill, speed and strategy were his watchwords. Starting the Australian Grand Prix P7, he made up 2 places at the start and further demonstrated his mastery of the art of overtaking as the race unfolded.
So that's Raikkonen then taking the lead back from Adrian Sutil.
Raikkonen wins the first Grand Prix of the season and starts off with absolute perfection.
When he made his Formula One debut in 2001, Raikkonen's racing credentials may have been questioned by some, but by 2003, his skill at the wheel was already undeniable, as demonstrated at a rain-soaked Interlagos. As chaos descended in Sao Paulo and many a mighty motorist found themselves sliding into walls and colliding with debris, Raikkonen's mastery of the wet came to the fore.
What a move What a driver this guy is. I mean, what can you say? Just doesn't fear anybody or anything.
Conditions had become so treacherous that the race had to be stopped, and the result taken from driver positions 2 laps from the end, which meant Kimi was awarded the win, for the time being. The result was later revised, and a surprisingly cheerful Kimi, ever the gentleman, handed the winner's trophy over to Jordan's Giancarlo Fisichella at the subsequent San Marino Grand Prix. Raikkonen's most recent win to date at the 2018 United States Grand Prix was a long time coming, and he broke a record getting to it. The Iceman had endured 113 winless starts since his previous victory, making the previous record, Riccardo Patresi's 99, seem a mere blink of an eye. More than 5 years on from tasting the winner's champagne at the 2013 Australian Grand Prix, the Kimi of old was in evidence from the off in Austin.
Going into turn 1 now, Raikkonen is just ahead of Hamilton. Kimi Raikkonen leads the Grand Prix.
The Finn would hold off extreme pressure from Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen throughout the race to take their sweetest of victories.
Kimi Raikkonen wins the US Grand Prix.
Grande Kimi, grande Kimi.
Well done, my friend. Thank you. Finally.
Obviously, I'm happy. So, just prove some people wrong. Makes enough fun for me.
The 2009 Ferrari had been well off the pace all season. In an unusual year for the sport, it was Brawn GP and Red Bull who were suddenly at the front of the pack. Kimi qualified P6 for the Belgian Grand Prix that year, but a superb start quickly pushed him up to second on the opening lap.
Raikkonen on a charge now.
The Finn then eased past race leader Giancarlo Fisichella, and from there he would fend off the chasing Italian to claim Ferrari's only victory of the season.
Kimi Raikkonen wins for Ferrari in Belgium.
It was his 4th Belgian Grand Prix win from his 5 previous starts. The King of Spa, mastering the circuit once more. In his 18th season of Formula One, Kimi Raikkonen proved at the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix that when conditions are tricky, experience prevails. The Iceman started on soft tyres on a track which was low on grip and made up an incredible 10 positions in a dizzying opening lap. Picking off cars one by one, the veteran Finn showed all of his experience and talent to move up from 16th position to 6th by the start of the second lap. This was all in his Alfa Romeo C39, a car unable to fight for points on a regular basis. It was truly one of the greatest opening laps in F1 history, a textbook study for the racing drivers of the future.
Kimi Raikkonen is in another league right now. This is absolutely thrilling stuff at the start of the Portuguese Grand Prix.
In only his 2nd season with McLaren, the Iceman showed his sensational speed at Sepang. Starting the 2003 Malaysian Grand Prix from P7, Kimi's race pace proved phenomenal. Carrying more fuel than most at the start, the Finn pushed hard, outperforming the limits of his car, finding every curb. As the pit stop shuffle played out, his early speed and strategy paid off, and he found himself ahead of the faster Renaults and Ferraris.
Kimi Raikkonen wins his first Grand Prix. What a start to the 2003 Formula One season. Fantastic.
Finishing over half a minute ahead of the field, the young man from Espoo achieved his first of many race wins.
It's tomorrow morning or tomorrow when I really noticed that I won my first race. We have put so much effort over the winter that is paying off now, and it's good for the, it's good for all of us.
Red Bull may have been sporting a Star Wars-themed livery at the 2005 Monaco Grand Prix, but the force was definitely with Kimi Raikkonen that weekend.
Now then, Mr. Raikkonen, what can you do?
It was his qualifying run, chasing Fernando Alonso's provisional pole time, that proved he was a master of the Monte Carlo streets.
Across the line he goes, almost half a second! Half a second! Faster than Fernando Alonso!
That incredible pace continued the next day, with the Finn building up a 35-second advantage in just 14 laps, making his one and only pit stop and comfortably rejoining at the front of the field, all of whom had pitted under an earlier safety car. Kimi Raikkonen that weekend was truly in a league of his own. Raikkonen's 2004 challenge didn't get off to a good start. Plagued by technical issues, he failed to finish 5 of the first 7 races of the season. But at Spa-Francorchamps, he would break his and McLaren's season duck in fine style. Hampered by a wet qualifying session, the Iceman started the race from 10th spot. There was carnage on the opening lap, with 4 cars out, and at the restart, Kimi was able to best the best, passing the champion-in-waiting Michael Schumacher on the run-up to Eau Rouge, and hunting down teammate David Coulthard on the Kemmel Straight. The Finn would quickly find himself in the lead of the race, and even a late safety car that allowed Schumacher to catch up didn't deter the McLaren man. The German had dominated the season up to then, winning all 12 of the races in which he'd finished. But Kimi never looked back and comfortably stayed clear of the Ferrari, holding on for a famous victory.
No doubt who the winner is, and he's known as the Iceman, but even he could excuse himself for a little emotion now, I think.
One of Kimi's greatest drives came at Suzuka in 2005. Starting the race from 17th on a grid of 20, Raikkonen forced his McLaren through the field with scant regard for the sensibilities of the great and good, making up place after place until he was sitting second. With 8 laps to go, Kimi pitted and began to chase down race leader Giancarlo Fisichella. Lap after lap, the Iceman chipped away at the Italian's time until, on the final lap, he was in striking distance.
Can Raikkonen sweep in? Yes, he can. Brilliant!
What a brilliant move! Side by side down the straight. Grand Prix racing at its absolute finest. He started from 17th place. Absolutely sensational performance.
Probably Kimi's best drive. Great overtaking manoeuvre. You know, it's not just that it was a good overtaking manoeuvre, it was the last lap and probably the last opportunity.
2007 saw Kimi Raikkonen at his most brilliant, exemplified by his performance in the dramatic and title-deciding finale to the season at Interlagos. Trailing championship leader Lewis Hamilton by 7 points and second-place Fernando Alonso by 3, Kimi qualified 3rd in Sao Paulo, with his Ferrari teammate Felipe Massa on pole. A blistering start from the Finn and some masterful manoeuvring from Massa saw the Iceman up to 2nd. Kimi later moved into 1st place, overcutting his Scuderia colleague through the pit stop phase. The McLarens of Alonso and Hamilton were unable to do anything to counter the pace of the Scarlet cars up front. Kimi held his cool throughout the race and in the end comfortably claimed that elusive Drivers' Championship by the smallest of margins.
Kimi Raikkonen is world champion of 2007.
Okay, it's all over. It's all over. Hamilton 7. By my calculations, we win the championship by 1 point.
In one of the tightest seasons in living memory, one in which Ferrari and McLaren shared all the victories, it was the cool-headed Finn who prevailed. Truly, the greatest moment of his remarkable career so far.
We went from a long way behind. We could reduce the gap and go ahead and win the championship in not just construction but also drivers, and for sure I'm gonna enjoy today and probably first month, so we see what happens, but I'm very happy.